All right, graph each line using the slope and the y-intercept. So first thing everybody needs to do is right at the top of their paper, y equals mx plus b. Everybody in here knows what m stands for. Not mass, not even math. Slope. Thank you for those of you guys who paid attention last week. M stands for slope. All right. And remember, M is equal to delta Y over delta X. Now, I personally feel like they should call it the slope y-intercept, but they abbreviated it to slope-intercept. All right, so the intercept they're talking about is the y-intercept. All right, now why do they like this format? They like this format because the number after the x is the y-intercept. And the y-intercept we're going to write as an ordered pair because that's what it is, 0, comma, b. We're going to write the slope as a fraction. We're going to write the slope as a fraction. All right. Now, from there, it should be relatively easy for everybody. All right. So here we go. We're going to graph both lines on the same axis. All right. So those of you guys who are paying attention, for number 1, m equals what? No. 2, slope equals what? 2 over 1. Beautiful. That's what I want everybody to write down. The slope, don't ask me where it came from. Look up on the board and find where there's a 2 in the problem. And then make, well, that must be where he got the slope from. The number in front of the x is always the what? Slope. The number after the x is always the y-intercept. I don't know why they call it m, and I don't know why they call it b. That's just the letters they chose. So the y-intercept, everybody's going to write down b equals parentheses. Who was paying attention? Who is it? What's the y-intercept? Yes. Say it.
0, -4.
0, -4. It's really and truly not that difficult. All right. Super duper important. All right. Now you're going to learn to graph. All right. So step number 1, plot the y-intercept. You can't do a slope without a point. All right. So that should remind you, plot the point first. So I'm plotting 0, -4. Now, I know some of you plotted 0, -4 over here. All right, but that's not where it goes. 0, -4 is down here.
Yeah.
All right, is everybody happy with that? All right, now we use our slope. And our slope right next to it, just for now, just to make sure you're understanding me, is delta y over delta x. What does that mean? That means on the y-axis, you go what?
2.
Up 2. And on the x-axis, you go right 1. That's what that means. All right, up 2 and right 1. So from our y-intercept, all right, what you're going to do is you're going to go up 2 over 1. Now, I like to write 3 points. And the reason why I like to do 3 points is because it's easier to draw the line. All right. So now from those 3 points, you're graphing that line. All right. Now, again, this you will be doing, I'm not joking, all the way through your math career. All right. Calculus, Calc 2, Calc 3, all the advanced math, you always talk about graphing lines. All right. And I'm always upset when people don't know how to graph a line. All right. There's nothing to it. All right. Now, let's see if we can do number 2. So, of course, everybody's going to write down on their paper m equals -3 over 1, and the y-intercept is 0, 2. We always plot the y-intercept first. So, everybody go what? Plot the point. And how do I plot the point? 0, 2, plot a point. Now, from there, from that point, what do I do? Down 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 1, and we got to do it again. Down 3 to the right 1. All right, now what I want everybody to do is I want everybody to listen to me. All right, I want to come back up here now. Now let's say I don't want to go down and to the right. If I'm going to do it in the reverse order, I would go what? Up 3 and to the left 1. Now, are the points the same? Are the points the same? No, the points are not the same, but are the points on the line? Yes, it doesn't matter what direction you go. All right. If you go down, you have to go to the right. If you go up, you have to go to the left. But of course, I never go up and left unless I absolutely have to, because people forget left is negative. All right. From there, now we're graphing that line. And yes, eventually we will be what? We will be finding that point of intersection. All right. But that's good. All right. I'm telling you, that's how simple. That's all there is to it. All right. So let's knock out number 3 now. All right. Anybody brave want to tell me how to do it? Catherine, tell me what to do. So everybody writes down m equals 3/4. Exactly. So now what do I do? Everybody's graphing 0, -5. Yes, and then go up 3 and over 4. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Technically, do I have to have a third point?
No.
No, you don't have to. All right. But sometimes I like to do it. But with my iPad, it's just easy to connect the dots. All right, super great. Okay. Now, problem number 4. Liam, go. What do I do?
M equals -5/2.
M equals -5/2.
B equals 0, 2.
Now what do I do?
You graph the 0, 2.
Yep. Then what?
Then you go down 5/2.
You're amazing. Down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right 2. And then of course we just draw that line. That would make me wrong, correct? Which you know that never happens. So let's talk about why I am correct. So listen now. The negative is critical. So everybody needs to pay attention. Is the 2 negative?
No.
No, and here's the reason why. If the 2 was negative, then the answer would actually be what? Positive. You see what I'm saying, right? So only one of the numbers can be negative. If I chose, could I put the negative with the 2? Yeah, and then if you would go up 5 and left 2, notice you're on the graph. Does that make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only one of them is negative. All right. Just like if you wanted positive, they both could be what? They both could be negative. Is everybody happy with that explanation?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, number 5. These are things we just know. From last week, I said graph x equals -4. And what kind of line is that? Okay, for those guys who don't know, lines are always what? Straight. So x equals -4. How I remember that is go to x equals -4, put a dot. Put a dot at x equals -4. All of the x values are -4. So watch me. I'm going to draw this line right here. Every single one of those points on that line has an x value that's what? -4. So I need everybody logically make that connection. X equals -4 is a vertical line. So does it have a y-intercept? Does it have a slope? Technically not. we generally write the slope is undefined. All right. And there is what? No y-intercept. All right. So now logically, we can do the next one. If I say, okay, y equals -2. So graph y equals -2, and then tell me it's going to be a what? Yay. All right, we're doing it. Horizontal, y equals -2. All right, now when you look at y equals -2, you know that the slope is 0 and the y-intercept is 0, -2. All right, anybody have any issues with that? Anybody? Okay. Now take out your handy dandy calculator real quick. Chop, 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 chop. Just for practice, let's go. And we got a lot of work to do, so let's go, get to work. All right. So I want everybody to type in on their calculator 3 and 4. I want everybody to type in 3 and 4, graphs 3 and 4, and see if we're about correct. See if it looks like it's the same. So everybody type in y equals 3 divided by 4x minus 5, and go under y2 and type in -5 divided by 2x plus 2, and then hit graph. I'm trying to show you that it can graph multiple lines. It can graph lots of lines. And if your calculator's not working, you can let me know. But I want everyone physically to type in 3 and 4, hit the graph button, and you should look at it. If it says syntax error, generally that's an error. You accidentally put in a minus sign rather than a what? Negative. Syntax means it doesn't understand what you're saying. All right, you're telling the calculator to do something, it doesn't understand what you're trying to tell it to do. 3 and 4. You're typing in 3 and 4. Y equals 3/4 x minus 5, and y equals -5/2 x plus 2. Right? And everybody, please look at that, because again, I cannot emphasize how important understanding how to use a calculator is. You have a big advantage over people who do not know how to use a calculator, and most kids do not. Go. So bring it up to me real quick. Hurry up. Don't be sorry. So these plots are on for some reason. Those are not supposed to be on. Now, take a look. You're welcome. Anybody else having issues? Come on up.
I just have a question.
What?
For like when you use the like pad or whatever, it doesn't give you like the exact numbers.
Don't worry about it. I'm going to teach you how to use everything at the right time. I just want to see 2 graphs on your calculator. That's what I want. What? Say it again. Come on. Minus and negative are different. If you type in a negative, it's going to be multiplying by -5. If you type in -5, it's going to be subtracting 5. What? You're supposed to type in 3/4 x minus 5. Not 3/4 x -5. Not that. All right, anybody else? I don't know why they just don't change that. If I was in charge, there would not be a minus and a negative. All right, but there must be a reason why the programming, they can't do that. Okay, but I don't know why. All right, now flip the page, please. Everybody's looking at number 7. Now, someone please tell me what's the problem. Y isn't isolated. So instead of it being y, it's 2y. So what do you think I have to do? Yes, you divide everything by 2. Now I'm going to do it, but you don't have to. Watch what I'm showing you. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. You're all smart enough. We don't have to do that. But if you're like, what is he doing? That's what I'm doing. So this becomes y equals 1/2 x minus 3. Everybody's agreeing with that?
Yes.
Anybody have any issues? So now I'm going to look quickly at number 8, because again, I'd like to get work done. So on number 8, what do I have to do, people? Divide by 3. So everybody write down what they think the answer is to number 8. And now look up on the board and see if you're correct. Everybody good with that? All right. So with that in mind, I need everybody to write down m equals 1/2, b equals 0, negative 3, m equals negative 4/3, b equals 0, 3. Everybody do that. Now graph those. I'm going to give you about 1 minute. I want everybody to graph it on the paper, graph both of them, and then type it in quickly on your calculator. All right. And you can double check. You have to verify your work. Verify your work. And if for any strange reason you're not understanding what I'm saying, you can just ask me now while everyone else is working. Anybody have any questions? Okay, we got lots of problems now. Our problem is that y is not isolated. So I have to isolate the y. And because we are brilliant, to isolate the y, I have to move what first? Yes. And we've already done this. So I move the 2x over. So everybody's looking up on the board. 3y equals. Notice I put the x in front of the constant. All right. And the constant is referred to as negative 12. Right? I moved the 2x. If it's positive on the left, it's going to be negative on the right. Come on, stop. It's no time to play. Only concentrating. Now, from there, I just have to do what? Divide by 3. So everybody knows y equals negative 2/3 x minus 4. Thank you very much. And then right underneath that, you put m equals negative 2/3. And then you put b equals 0, negative 4. Now, before you get started, we're doing number 10 also. We're doing number 10. So this is the one that's a little bit more complicated. So I need everybody to put your eyes up on the board. I told you I would like for you to solve for y. But I also want you to be smart and say, look, the y value is what right now?
Negative.
I don't like negatives. So to help myself, I'm going to move the negative 2y where? To the other side. And that will make it what? Then I'm going to have to move the negative 6 to the other side because I want to be the y by itself. So come on, people. Everybody's looking at what I'm saying. The first step I'm going to show you, 3x equals 2y minus 6. Then I'm going to add 6. 3x plus 6 equals 2y. But I expect you to be able to do that in your head. So everybody with me?
Yes.
You're able to move things left and right in your head. Simple, simple, simple. All right, now you need to look up on the board and you need to make sure you understand what I just said. That's really and truly as hard as it can possibly get to graph. All right, because our last step is just go ahead and do what? Divide by 2. And when I divide by 2, I'm going to rewrite it as the y value first. So it's going to be y equals 3/2 x plus 3. Everybody okay with that? Y equals 3/2 x plus 3. And now underneath that, you tell me you know what the slope is. M equals 3/2. B equals 0, 3. All right. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions with that? All right, really and truly, that's about as hard as it gets. All right, that's about as hard as it gets. So if you're good with that, you are good with today's lesson.
Like,
Okay, now everybody, take a look, please, at number 11. All right, we're gonna do one more, and then I'm gonna jump down. All right, come on, guys. This is relatively easy. I need to move what?
2x.
Move the 2x. 5y equals 2x minus 10. Now what? What am I doing? Dividing by 5 because I'm trying to isolate the y. Divide by 5, divide by 5, divide by 5. Y equals 2/5 x minus. So now everybody puts down m equals 2/5 and b is equal to 0, -2. What?
2x in front of negative. Yeah. Why wouldn't it be?
Y equals mx plus b. That's our objective. All right, that's why. This is our objective. All right, anybody else have any questions with that? Now continue graphing. All right. Mhm. What? So now to graph this, just to make sure, we go to 0, -2, plot a point, and then from there, we go up to the right 5. And then we draw the line. That's how simple. Anybody have any issues? Anybody have any issues? All right, I'm about ready to move on, so I'm going to give you another 30 seconds to finish up. And then we're going to go on to the next little bit of this information. Here we go. Everybody go to 14 now. Now, we went from the equation to the graph, and now we're going to go from the graph to the equation. If you know how to go from the equation to the graph, going from the graph to the equation is not a big deal at all. Please don't make it a big deal. But again, everyone does this through always. All right, please pay attention so you don't miss anything. All right, first thing everybody needs to do is everybody needs to put down first step, y equals mx plus b. That's the first thing I want you to write down. Y equals mx plus b. Anybody have any issues with that? All right, now I want to take this opportunity right here, point to that. What is that called right there? The y-intercept. So what letter is that?
B.
B. Thank you very much. That is B. All right, so what number is that right there? 5. So now I have y equals mx plus 5. Now, generally what I tell kids is this. Write it y equals space x plus space. Because we're looking for the slope and we're looking for the y-intercept. We just found the y-intercept. That was what? 5. All right, now, again, please don't make a big deal. Is everybody clear to see that is another point on the graph? So now the question is, we're doing what we did on Friday. How do I get from the left point to the right point? Hold up, that was a little too fast for me. So I got to count from here to here. And then I went from here to here. So everybody just said it correctly. Down 3. Down 3 means what? -3. To the right, how many? 4. So -3, just for your own, showing people how smart you are. You put delta y equals -3. Then you put delta x equals 4. Is that really necessary?
No.
No, it is not necessary. It's just to show me that you understand what I am saying. Slope is a ratio. In this case, the ratio is what? -3/4. So the answer is y equals -3/4 x plus 5. That is not a difficult thing. All right. It's actually very hard. All right. It's actually very hard. If you think it's easy, you're in good shape. All right. Now we will practice again looking at number 15. So because you were paying attention, we're going to go y equals, leave a space, x, leave a space. Somebody find the y-intercept. 5. So it's going to be +5. Go from the left point to the right point. So I find the left, I find the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5 over 3. Delta y, delta x. So my equation is simply what? You are amazing. Y equals 5 over 3x plus 5. I just don't think it's that difficult. All right. People find it impossible, actually, for some strange reason. I don't know either. All right. So last one for me on, well, not the last one. Let's everybody take a look at 16. Now, what I would like everybody to do for 16 is go ahead and write your answer down, and then we can see if you know what you're doing. Everybody write their answer to number 16. I'll give you another 30 seconds. Stop trying to sing. Y-intercept was -7. So I have a -7 filled in right there. Now, from the left point to the right point, obviously the slope is going to be positive or negative. Positive because going up the mountain. So I went up, how many? 4, and I went over 5. So my equation is, it's as simple as that, guys. Simple, simple. All right. 4/5 x minus 7. Everybody's good with that? All right, now drop down a little bit for question number 18. All right, everybody who was paying attention can obviously look at the horizontal line. Come on. Horizontal line. What is that equation?
Why? It's the x-intercept.
Y. Come on, I want an equation. I'm listening. Go ahead. Y equals -2. The vertical line is just what? X equals 6. These are things you just know because you paid attention and you listened to me. All horizontal lines are Y equals. All verticals are X equals. If I ask you for the slope of a horizontal line, you would now tell me it is? What is?
Undefined.
No. 0. Horizontal is 0. Vertical is what? Undefined. Make yourself a mental note. I know if you made a mistake, it's okay. All right. That's why I'm asking you over and over to put it into your brain. All right. Graph the line using a table. Graph the line using a table. What points am I plugging in?
1, 0, -5.
Is that us? Okay, so listen, guys. Your homework for tomorrow, man, look how much good work I had. All right, listen, we'll finish tomorrow. No homework. All right, if I hear about you running down and beating up little kids and taking their candy bags, Jocelyn, I heard about you stealing candy bags.